All right, good morning everyone. Well, here I am walking around my neighborhood again. I figure it worked well last time. I thought I'd go ahead and continue that. So I want to talk, I've got another presentation about your code of ethics presentations, or another video about your code of ethics presentations, and you should definitely watch that one. Here I just wanted to give you one other idea. A student over the winter class did her presentation. It was one of the best I had ever seen. I would love to give it to you as an example, but you know, these things, it's private. So I just want to describe to you what she did. Now, she was not the greatest presenter, not quite all that dynamic, stumbled a few times, had some mishaps, but the way she structured her presentation and the way she told a story during that presentation was masterful. So I just want to describe it for you. What she did is she started off and she said, okay, when you're going to go on a road trip, you have to know the rules of the road. Well, who makes those rules? Well, the government makes those rules. Things like when to stop, stoplights, speed limits. Then she said, well, what about for engineers? What about a person wants to become an engineer, work as an engineer? Who makes the rules that governs the ways that engineers can practice? Well, the NSPE does. So then she went into explaining what the NSP is and what it does and how it works. And then she said, now that we know the rules of practice, now what if you were going to actually go on a trip? Well, you need a car. So would you rather have a car that's designed by a mechanical engineer with automotive design experience, or would you rather have a car that is designed by a computer engineer who has designed apps before? I said, well, you choose the car that was designed by an automotive engineer. And what is to stop the computer engineer from designing a car? Well, the NSPE has a rule of practice for that. And then she went into that code and explained how that works. So that was her example. So she used that idea of the road trip, and then she continued it, and all of her slides were about roads, and she would map things out on a road. And then at the end she said, now that we know the rules, the governing body who makes the rules, and we know what it prevents people from doing, engineers from doing, now you can actually go on your trip and get to your destination safely. So the slides and the way she structured it were great because she continued that story of the road trip. So you can do something like this in your own presentations. The idea is not just to tell an anecdote, although you can definitely do that, but the idea is to make the entire presentation into a kind of story, some overarching structure that connects the beginning to the end. And one way to do that is with a story of an engineer, made up or real. It doesn't matter. So you can start with that story, lead into the code of ethics, and then end with what that person could or should have done. Okay? All right, good luck.